Hey everybody, Alexa here from Hometown Teds in Lincolnton. I am currently outside one of our steel structure demos on the lot. This one in particular is an 18-foot wide by 20-foot long by 11-foot tall garage with a 12-foot wide by 20-foot long by 8-foot tall lean-to on it. For the roofing for our steel structures, you have two different options. You have the vertical style, which means that the ridges on the panels are going to run straight down off the roof, or you have horizontal, which means that the ridges on the panels are going to run front to back. The vertical roofing is also going to have a little bit of extra bracing underneath due to the way that the sheet metal is ran. They have to have the bracing to make sure that it can withstand the pressure that it needs to pass certification. Both structures would be certified to the same standards regardless. We recommend the vertical if you know that it's an area that's going to have kind of drainage issues, or maybe there's a lot of trees around, just because it'll be a little bit easier for you to get it cleaned off than with the horizontal, because the horizontal is going to be kind of like little gutters coming down the roof. So sometimes it's just a little better. Really depends on the area in which you want to put the structure. This one happens to have windows. These are both 24-inch by 36-inch windows. They are the single pane, similar to like shed windows. They do have screens and they are operational. It also has a 10 by 10 roll-up door on it, which you can sliding locks on either side of it, so you can just use a padlock to lock it. It's very easy to get up and down. It's just a little tall. Now I'm going to take you inside a little bit closer to look at some of the features of these. Okay, so now we are inside the garage section with the door open. You can see here you've got your vertical bracing every 5 foot on center. You do have your base rail along the ground, so if it's closed in, it's going to be around the entirety of the square on the bottom. If it's just a carport or a lean-to, then it's only going to be where the legs are supporting it. So your base rail and your supporting legs are 14 gauge, 2.5-inch square steel tubing. We do also offer the option to do the 12 gauge if you need it. 12 gauge is going to be better for snow load, so if you're in the more northern state, it's a really good option, but 14 gauge here is better for wind resistance. The easy way to look at it is 14 gauge has better side to side resistance, whereas 12 gauge has better up and down resistance. Hence why we say anywhere that you're not going to see a lot of snow, it's better just to do the 14 gauge because you're going to have a higher wind resistance, which is going to be more beneficial for you in the long run. You do get 20-year warranty for the color and the rust on the tubing and the sheet metal, so really shouldn't see any issues. It holds up very well. It is galvanized, so there is a coating on it that's going to help it not to rust. Now for the anchors, you have a couple different types depending on the type of ground that you are wanting to put your structure on. If you are putting it on concrete, we will use concrete anchors. Asphalt, we have asphalt anchors. If it is grass, dirt, or gravel, we will use a combination of rebar and mobile home anchors. Each anchor will be within 6 inches of the supporting posts, and they are included with the structure. You don't have to pay extra for those, and you don't have to do any prep work for the anchoring either. They will do that whenever they come out, whether it's the concrete or whatever. For the walk-in doors, all of our walk-in doors are standard right-hand outswing. They are going to be either like this one, which is the standard, that is a steel door with a little diamond window in it. It's got a single lock on it down here. They do also have the option to do the 9-light. In terms of the roll-up door, we have multiple different sizes for the roll-up doors. You have a small 6x7 all the way up to 14x14, a couple of different ranges of sizes in between. We also offer residential garage doors, so those are going to be ones that we can attach a motor to and make them automatic for you. Those come in a variety of different sizes as well. They also come non-insulated or insulated, depending. We do offer different types of insulation for these structures as well. You have the fiberglass insulation, which is a 2-inch fiberglass. And then lastly, we have a moisture barrier. So that one's gonna be more, if you have, a carport that you are worried about the roof sweating, that's a really good option. Or even if you just have like a semi-enclosed carport or even a garage that you don't wanna fully insulate, but you don't wanna have to deal with the metal sweating, the moisture barrier is a really good option, at least on the roof, just to prevent any of that sweating and thinking that your structure is leaking when really and truly it's just condensation that has gotten up to the roof. For All of the steel structures, delivery and installation, as long as you are within the covered areas, is included. As long as it's also a mostly level spot. For us, we consider mostly level within 3 to 4 inches. If it's concrete, of course, it's already gonna be level. If it's asphalt, more than likely it will be level as well. More so when you're putting it on ground or gravel that we worry about it being level. If it's not level, that's okay. We just would like to know beforehand so that we can make sure we compensate for that with your order, and we allow labor for them to cut the legs on site so that they can make sure that it flows properly with the ground. Actually kind of see behind me, it goes at an angle here. So even our demo is not perfectly level, but they can make it work. We just need to know ahead of time so that we can put the labor on. Also make sure we have enough clearance depending on how level or unlevel the ground is. So now we are outside more so where you can see the lean-to. Like I said, this one is 12 foot wide, 20 foot this way, and 8 foot to here. So we have different options for lean-tos. We can add to an existing structure like this. We have freestanding lean-tos if you wanted it to not be added to your existing structure, or you just wanted it butted up, or if you need it to be a bigger span than what we can do for just a attachment. They do have a little bit of requirement for height and such, depending on how wide it is. Traditionally for a 12 foot wide, you're gonna want about 3 foot of a fall for it to be a continuous roof, which means it's gonna go just straight. If you want to have a little bit of a drop, which is what we kind of consider the horse style barn, you're gonna wanna go 4 foot because it's gonna have the middle section, a little drop, then the lean-to comes off the side. You can do multiple lean-tos as well. All of our steel structures are very customizable. We can do most anything as long as you know what you want. We just have to get it figured out for the most part. Even if we haven't done it before, we can try and get something situated for you. If you have any questions or you want to know more, you can look at the link below for our website. We have our 3D configurator online, which I will attach some clips of at the end here, just to kind of show you what that would look like. You can build your own structure and make one, and it gives you a pricing on it, and then that way once you build something you like, you can bring that to us, come into the office, and we can process your order just from right there. Or you can come by the office here at 1408 East Main Street in Lincolnton. We are here Monday through Friday 9 to 6 and Saturdays 10 to 2, and we are more than happy to walk through all the options and figure out what structure is going to work best for you. Or you can give us a call at 704-735-3334. We hope to hear from you or see you soon. Now we're going to the configurator. Now I'm going over the different preset options that are under the style. For carports, you have 3 different types. You have the standard, triple wide, or commercial based on how wide it needs to be. Then you get into garage or an RV cover if you need it to be taller. Then we have the horse barn with the drop on it. And then you go to the custom barn, which is a horse barn with a continuous roof. Then you have the utility structure, which is a carport with storage in the back of it. And lastly, our freestanding lean-tos. Now we're going to go through the standard carport and just kind of go more in the details of the different size options you have. So for standard, we go from 12 up to 24. You can go smaller than 12, but the smallest standard is 12. Then lengthwise, smallest we do standard is usually 20, but you can go as small as 10, and go as big as like over 100 foot. Then for height, you have options all the way from 6 foot up to 14 foot for a standard. You just have to make sure that the carport is not taller than it is wide. Now we're moving to the sides and end section. So this is where you can pick if you want to add gable ends, if you want to add panels, or if you want to completely close in the structure, if you're wanting to do like a garage, or if you want a partially enclosed carport. Just kind of picking through these, showing the different options. I do quickly go to the colors here, but I come back up because I want to add the trim around the panels on the side. So that's called the J trim. It just rounds it off a little more and makes it have that more finished look. Then I go back to the colors and am just kind of picking through to show what different options you have. You can pick colors for the trim, the siding, and the roof. They can all be the same, all different, depending on what you want to do. You can also, if you have a fully enclosed structure, do wainscoting. So that's going to be when you have the siding be 2 different colors. You've got the top section be one color and the very bottom of it be a different color. That's an option as well. Then I'm going to just quickly kind of turn it around to show you the structure a little more, and you can do this yourself so you can get a better idea of what it actually looks like, and then you can see how the color will look as well. But this is just a brief overview of our 3D configurator.